the skull heart, parasites, locales, and even the mafia. All of these topics have been touched upon and explained by yours truly in the Skullgirls lore series. Today, we're going to look at another faction in the Skullgirls universe, the Labs, and all the people we know who work inside them. Buckle up, guys, this one's going to be quite a ride. Now, obviously, we can't talk about labs without saying what they are. When I refer to labs, I'm referring to the Anti-Skullgirls labs, ASGL, for short. The Anti-Skullgirls labs are just that. These are labs that were created throughout the Canopy Kingdom with a single one in the New Meridian. These labs exist with a single purpose, to stop the Skullgirl every 7 years. They do this in many different ways. As for the labs themselves, there are 9 of them, all with distinct differences in fields of research. Following is the list. Labs 1 and 2 are research labs that create and supply the technology that all other labs use to do their research. Lab 3 is the Super Soldier Development Lab. Lab 4 is the Handheld Weapon/Vehicle Development Lab. Lab 5 is the Specialized Weapon Lab. Lab 6 does all research on Theonite, that creepy blue glowing stuff that the Skullheart creates whenever it reawakens. Yeah, they research that. Lab 7 does medical research, as evidenced by the people we know from that lab. Lab 8 creates synthetic parasites, and Lab 0 is the secret immoral lab that does experiments with Skullheart/Skullgirl blood and its effects on humans, primarily kidnapped children or victims in general of kidnapping. All these labs create what are known as ASGs, or Anti-Skullgirls. These include Panzerfaust of the Red Egrets, who was created in Lab 3. Black Dahlia was also created in one of these labs, however, we as the player are never told which. One would assume that it is Lab 8, as she interacts mainly with characters from this aforementioned lab. Lab 7 was the home of Christmas, Valentine, Patty, Easter, and Hollow, which later became the Last Hope. Lab 8 is where 2 fan-favorite playable characters come from, being Peacock and Big Band. Finally, there's Lab 0, which is home to Brain Drain, Painwheel, and, non-canonically though fan-favoritely, RoboFortune. While all the labs created different things, they all had different moral standings as well. Labs 3 and 4 sold a lot of their research to the Canopian government, hence their use and ownership of Panzerfaust. Lab 0 is a very immoral lab, using kidnapped children in their experiments with Theonite-laced blood. Lab 8 is the most morally intact lab, as most of the people who enter Lab 8 and are experimented on wouldn't be able to live normal lives without the intervention of the lab. Think of characters such as Big Band, Peacock, and the non-playable characters like Leduc, Ilium, and Hive. All of these characters would not be able to lead normal lives if it wasn't for the intervention of Dr. Avian. All of these labs are very important in the main story of Skullgirls, as many characters either worked in or came from a lab. Most ASGs are normal people who have the power to destroy the Skullheart, like Big Band or Peacock. I say normal very loosely, but in the world of Skullgirls, a lot of people aren't normal, so they don't stand out as much. Then you have other characters like Painwheel or RoboFortune from Lab 0 who exist for the sole purpose of destroying the Skullheart. As seen in Big Band's story when he fights Painwheel, and after failing to defeat Big Band, Painwheel is given an electroshock from Brain Drain, as she is going off course with her goal to destroy the Skullheart and losing to, quote-unquote, an older, inferior ASG. And now it's time for the favorite part of the video. Fun facts. Easy ones first. All the members of Lab 7 are named after holidays. Isn't that just neat? Also, RoboFortune's main projectile is a direct result of her being a product of Lab 0. As this lab experiments with Skullgirl blood and Theonite, RoboFortune's main method of attack is a ranged beam that is highly concentrated Theonite. Finally, most of the children in Lab 8 are referred to as test subjects, just to hide the fact that Dr. Avian was secretly using Canopian resources to take care of wounded civilians and children from the New Meridian. Also, final fact, the name of one of the companies behind the development of Skullgirls is named Lab 0. I always thought that was kinda neat. It's pretty cool. And here we are at the end of the video. I know, it seems pretty short, but for the labs being as important as they are, they're very simple to explain. They create or research ways to stop the Skullgirl, and that's pretty much it. Well, time for some nice questions to leave you guys off with. Who's your favorite lab-related character? Which lab do you think is the coolest overall, or the most memorable? And do you think we should see more of The Last Hope? Me personally, my favorite character from any of the labs is Stanley Whitefriend from Lab 8. I think Lab 7 has the coolest characters, obviously. And, come on, The Last Hope, they're so cool. They deserve more spotlight, man. Come on, I don't care if they're canonically dead. Bring them back. That would be awesome. Anyways, now that you people got your tasty lore tidbits, I'd like to bid you all adieu. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, remember to like, comment, subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it. This was me, Melting Explodes Bloodily, and I'll see you guys the next time a piece of Skullgirls lore needs some light shed upon it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.